What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Command and Console. My name is Jason. Today I'm recommending some games that I think you should own. The first title is for the Sega Master System, and it is kind of like an action platformer similar to games like Castlevania, but maybe not as involved as that. It's an 8-bit game for the Master System, and it is kind of a similar kind of vibe to Conan the Barbarian, and that is Rastan. I played tons of this as a kid, growing up with the Master System. I absolutely loved it. It's very much quite a difficult, challenging game for me. Even jump back on this now as an adult, it's still very challenging. A lot of your jumps and platform sections, you've got to be very precise with your jumps and stuff, and your attacks have got to be timed correctly as well. It's very challenging. You die very quickly in this game. And yeah, those pitfalls and jumps that you've got to make can be easily missed if you're not pixel perfect in some regard. But I really do recommend Rastan for a game I think you should own. The artwork is spectacular, and it's got that classic Master System grid artwork there. But I love the artwork on this. But yeah, grab it when you can. It's a fairly affordable game at the moment. It goes between £20 and £30. I really recommend it. I think it's a fun little challenge kind of action platformer that I think loads of people would enjoy. But that is Rastan for the Master System. Next up, we have an action RPG, kind of a stealth action RPG by the guys over at Obsidian Entertainment. This is a PS3 title right here, and I had tons of fun playing this one, and I think it goes under the radar a little bit. It got badly reviewed, but I think lots of people can find some enjoyment from this. I'm talking about a game called Alpha Protocol. Once again, it's another game published by Sega, developed by Obsidian Entertainment, like I said before, but this is a kind of almost like a Metal Gear Solid-esque RPG with very kinds of a lot of RPG elements in there, similar to Mass Effect. I would go as far as saying there's dialogue choices and your choices do matter in this game. It really does change the complexion of the story and how things progress. I had lots of fun with this. Is it jank? Yes, it's quite janky, to be fair. It's quite buggy, but I mean, if you can get past those kind of shortcomings, I think this game is very much a very fun and enjoyable experience. The story really kept me hooked in. It's almost kind of like a James Bond vibe in there as well. I really enjoyed this one for what it was. It's got lots of decisions to make. It's got really just fun gameplay, albeit jank. It's still fun for me. I really enjoy this one. I do recommend it. It's a game that I think people should give a chance to, because I think it's just a really fun title. Yeah, Alpha Protocol, the espionage RPG. If you want something a bit different, a bit kind of unique on its own, it's kind of James Bond-esque Metal Gear Solid kind of RPG. It's got stealth mechanics in there. Like I said, it's got dialogue choices. If that sounds cool to you, and you can get past some kind of wonky controls and janky kind of gameplay, I think you could find something that you might enjoy here. That's Alpha Protocol. Next title is a title of a similar style to Alpha Protocol. It is an action RPG. It is a little bit jank, but I've got the affinity for these, double A kind of mid-tier games that have lots of ambition, that don't necessarily meet their ambitions, but it's got charm there. I'm talking about a game called Technomancer. Now, I'm a bit biased with this title because I've come to really enjoy the games that are made by the developer known as Spiders. I think they've made some really fun, ambitious, yet kind of janky RPG titles. This is one of my favourites from them. I played this and played it all the way through. I think it's a really fun sci-fi action RPG. It's kind of almost like a It's very Star Wars inspired. It's very Mass Effect inspired in its kind of like design and story aspects. But yeah, Technomancer is really cool. You can think that Technomancer as almost like the Jedi of this universe, and they've since been kind of almost like long forgotten, and the ones that remain aren't very looked upon as very fondly. They're kind of looked upon as like people don't particularly like them in this world. Technomancers aren't very liked amongst the general population. This is one of the rare games that is set on Mars, which I think is pretty damn cool as well. But yeah, I thought this game was really fun. It's got a combination of ranged and melee combat, which I thought was just fun to play, and you can obviously build out your character with whatever kind of build you want. You want a tank build, you want a ranged build, you want a warrior kind of melee build. If you want a magic, you obviously it's Technomancer, you've got magic, so it's like you can build a magic wielder as well. I really enjoyed this game for what it was. I thought it was very, 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 very fun. It's got so bad reviews, it's unreal. I don't think it deserves the hate. I think the developer has produced some really entertaining titles. Greedfall was great. Bound by Flame was really good. And yeah, I've not played their new game, Still Rising, but Technomancer is probably my favourite in the bunch by Spiders. But yeah, I do recommend. I think it's a game you should own and check out, because I think it deserves a second look. Is it wonky? Is it janky? Sure, but I mean, has it got a cool story? I think so. Do I enjoy the moment to moment gameplay and the RPG stuff? Definitely. That's Technomancer. Next up, lots of RPGs in this video today. XMen Destiny. Yes, the game that killed Silicon Knights as a developer. I think it's their last game that they made, and it flopped hard. No one liked it from what I can tell from review scores. Is it kind of middling in its kind of like aspirations? Maybe. It's not amazing by any means, but do I feel like it's a really entertaining kind of X-Men story and gameplay loop? Absolutely. I think it's really fun. You get to build your own, or you get to create your own mutant, and you get to choose what powers they have, and you get to build up their powers. Maybe it deserves its negative reception to a point, because I feel like it's as 5 out of 10 as you're going to get with a game, in my opinion. It's very middle of the road in terms of what it tries to do, but I feel like you still can have fun with it. There's a lot of fun there, and I do like the fact that it's an action RPG within the X-Men universe. You can build up your character to have different powers. I do think it is the last game from Silicon Knights, but I'm not too sure about that exactly. But this game was really fun. I think it's fun. I think it deserves a second shot. Let me know what you think about XMen Destinies in the comments down below, because I think it's a fairly underrated game. I say underrated. It kind of deserves its middle of the road scores, like 5 out of 10s. But is it bad? I don't think so. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's pretty decent and pretty fun for what it is. Of course, people can talk about what it could have been or what it should have been, but what it is, it's pretty fun. That's X-Men Destinies. The final game on my list is another 360 title. This is by THQ. This is the game that preceded Homefront. It's by the developer of the original Homefront. That game was not very good at all, but this one was really fun. I remember playing the campaign for it, was really good, and the multiplayer was fun as well. More like kind of almost like a domination kind of multiplayer experience there, like three armies and 3 factions fighting over certain spots. It was really fun. I'm talking about Frontlines, Fuel of War. This game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's like a futuristic, obviously a first-person shooter kind of army, modern military kind of shooter, but it's obviously set in the future. It's about these multiple different corporations fighting over resources, oil and stuff like that. You go through, you can unlock these weird gadgets and new gadgets and stuff like that to help you kind of take over points and stuff. What I remember of this game is really fun. I'm looking forward to jumping back into it, but I had to give it a bit of a shout out in this video because I just remember putting loads of time in this game, and I just remember it being fucking just so much fun. And I think lots of people kind of, it's definitely a forgotten title for me. I think it's definitely forgotten for a lot of people, but I think this is a game where if you jump back in, it could be a lot of fun. I think it was a lot of fun back in the day, and I think it probably still holds up now. Frontlines Fuel for War. If you was kind of a bit underwhelmed by the Homefront game that came out in the early 2010s, this one is the better game by the same developer from what I remember. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Doubtful the multiplayer exists now, but the single player campaign was a lot of fun, and the shooting was really, really satisfying. The gadgets and stuff you can get in the game was satisfying. I do believe you could pilot vehicles in this as well. I might be wrong there, but I just remember this game being loads of fun. and I just wanted to give it a bit of a shout out in this video. That's Frontlines Fuel of War. So those are my picks for 5 games I want you to own. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on any of these games in the comments down below, and let me know if you plan to pick these up in the future, or if you've already got them, what do you think about them? As always guys, let's continue to build a games collection.